Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Lewis Speaks 2024, and today I want to make a video for all adult children who are raised by emotionally immature parents. This video is for you. I'm making this video because oftentimes as adult children who are raised by emotionally immature parents, we were not given the level of support, care, and concern that we need in order to move successfully throughout the world. And so what ends up happening is that we feel lost, we feel confused, we feel uncared for, we feel unloved. And so this causes us to act out certain things in other relationships in our lives. And so this video is intended to be a support and also provide education and information on how to navigate and how to deal with your emotionally immature parent. You know, what exactly is an emotionally immature parent? It's a parent that has not yet grown up. It's a parent that, despite being of a certain age group, they still are engaging in very immature behaviors. Oftentimes, children are responsible. It feels like that children are responsible for raising these parents and providing them with the love, support, and nurturance that they need, you know? And these emotionally immature parents oftentimes like to unduly challenge, they like to argue with their children, they like to debate, they like to, let me say, there's a slew of defense mechanisms that these parents use in order to avoid taking accountability and avoid providing that support. One thing you need to know about emotionally immature parents is that they will struggle to take accountability for everything. They will blame you, they will deflect, they will project their own insecurities onto you. They will sit up here and try to act as though they were these wonderful parents. They were spotless and blameless. And they will somehow rewrite history, you know? Oftentimes, you will feel as though the moment that you were born, they started a tab on you. And now that you are an adult, they want you to pay them back with interest. You will always feel as though you are indebted to them. And they will make you feel that way. They will guilt you. Let me just say this. Let's talk about some of the tactics that they use in order to try to maintain control of you. For one, they will try to guilt and shame you. They will guilt, shame you, they will blame you, they will gaslight you tremendously, try to make you question your reality and question your perception about certain things. They will criticize you like crazy. They will belittle, berate you. They will engage in selective inattention. They won't acknowledge certain things. Like they'll minimize certain things about their wrongdoing, but what they'll do is they'll maximize what you do wrong or their perception of what you do wrong. So there will be a lot of emotional blackmail. They will engage in emotional blackmail like crazy. Try to make you feel as though you're not doing enough. Try to make you feel as though you're the one who's in the wrong. They will constantly try to turn tables around in conversation. Like whenever you try and let them know about something that they did to hurt or offend you, what they'll do is let's just say this, they may offer a perfunctory apology, but it'll always be followed by a but. But you did this, but you did that, and but you did this. So they'll completely omit everything that they did and try to justify their poor behavior. And that's because they want to circumvent accountability. Anytime you try to hold them accountable for any action, they're going to always try to find a clever way to evade taking accountability. So they will try to shift blame. They will always, oh my goodness, they will always try to play the victim. They will play victim to circumstances that they help create. And they will never, and please, if you take nothing from this video, take this. They will never take accountability for how they treat you. They will always blame, 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 and shift the blame. So you feel as though you're going around in circles. It's this merry-go-round of nothing but blame. It's a cycle of blame, blame. And it's like, what can heal that? Taking accountability, saying, yes, I did these things wrong. I'm working to make change. I apologize and I'm willing to make genuine amends. Not making amends just to shut you up or just to shut you down, which is what they oftentimes try to do. They offer you some level of performative amends as a way to just shut you up. Oh, I'll do this, but I'll do it only so that way I can throw it in your face later on. I'll say that I'm sorry so that way you could just shut up about it. Their motivations for offering apology are oftentimes impure and manipulative and deceptive. And what I get tired of, I get tired of people thinking that they can offer an easy apology and that's it. That's all is needed. Here's the thing. An apology without behavior change is manipulation. If you keep on offering a series of apologies, but you're not attacking the behavior that is causing you to have to always apologize, nah, you're not genuinely sorry. You just want to keep on perpetuating toxic behaviors. And another thing about emotionally immature parents is that they don't respect people's boundaries. They do not respect a person's boundaries. And this is why you have to distance yourself as an adult child, because they don't respect your boundaries. There's numerous boundary violations that result in potential estrangement. You have to distance yourself because you realize that you're not being respected. And oftentimes these emotionally immature parents will say things like, well, I brought you into the world. I gave you life. I gave you life, and look at how you repay me. Look at how you repay me. For one, they didn't give you life. God above gave you life. Okay? That's one. And for two, they didn't do you any favors. They did not do you any favors. They oftentimes will try to act like they did you a favor by having you and giving birth to you. No, baby, you didn't do me any favors. I did you a favor. I provided you with purpose. I provided you with meaning. I provided you with structure. Children, let me tell you, children provide parents with structure, meaning, and purpose. If it wasn't for children, let me tell you, a lot of these parents will be turning more tricks than a little bit. Let me tell you that right now. They'll be drunkards down in the Bowery. Just their life a mess. A mess. So their children provide them with structure. The children give them a reason to transform their lives. Okay, I've seen so many parents who are wayward. They had a child. That child became an anchor. That child grounded them. That child provided them with a hard dose of reality and let them know that they have to get their lives together. Okay? So if you are an emotionally immature parent who is trying to blackmail your adult children, stop. Don't sit up there and try to tell them that, I could have left, I could have done so many other things. The thing about it is this. If you would have left, you would have been a crackhead somewhere turning tricks in some dark alley, okay? Because it will not go well with you if you abandon your kids. Let me just tell you that right now. It will not go well with you. I work across the street from the city mission, and every single day I see men out there panhandling, begging, going in and out of the mission because they left their kids. Because they thought they can leave the mother of their kids alone to raise these kids. They thought that it was fine to just leave these women alone, raising kids single-handedly. They thought that, they'll be fine. And now these men are regretting it. Every single day they're battling demons, they're battling guilt, they're battling shame, they're battling addiction. They have so many different things that they're battling as a result of them abandoning their families. So any parent that advocates for another parent to give up their kids, bring them to a police station, or basically just abandon their children, no. It will not go well with you. There is a scripture in the book of Timothy that says that anyone that abandons that which is their own, it won't go well with them. It's like they disown the faith. My father, he thought that he could circumvent accountability. He thought that he could circumvent and evade taking responsibility for having children. He left, didn't take care of us, thought that he could try his hand somewhere else. Where is he now? Last time I heard, he was banging on payphones for loose change trying to get money for crack. So you think that you're going to leave your kids and abandon your kids and it's going to go well with you. It's not. I'm here to tell you from firsthand experience, it's not. I've seen it in numerous families. You leave your kids, it won't go well with you. And oftentimes emotionally immature parents will try to sit up there and threaten to abandon their kids, thinking that they could have had a better life without children, you know? And I'll give you a prime example of who is an emotionally immature parent. If you know the reality TV star, her name is now Angela White, but she used to go by Black China. Her mother, Tokyo Toni, is the perfect example of an emotionally immature parent. This woman is in direct competition with her daughter. She cannot provide support, encouragement, love, none of it. She can't provide none of it because her daughter is her competitor. And that's another thing with these emotionally immature parents. They see their children as competition. They're jealous of their kids. They're jealous of their kids' success. They're jealous of their kids' jobs. They're jealous of their kids' money, houses, whatever their kid has. They're jealous. They can't be supportive. Sometimes, and I do mean sometimes, they can come alive when you are destitute or when you are a broke down mess. Then they may show up and offer this counterfeit care and concern, but it's not genuine. They can never celebrate your wins. They always have to try to find some sneaky way to just throw in some snide comment, some backhand compliment, you know? They can never be genuinely happy for you. You try to educate yourself and you try to take care of yourself, and they tell you things like you need to come up out of them books. You need to come up out of them books. And the reason why they tell you that is because when you get the information necessary to identify what they're doing, when you finally wake up and you have the language to describe what is happening to you, they don't like that, because then you could seek freedom. You can gain liberation. They don't want you to know about who they are and what they're doing to you, because they want you stupid. They want you stupid because then you're easy to control. It's kind of like the slave masters who didn't want black people to read. They didn't want us to read because they knew that they were trying to take advantage of us. They knew that they were trying to hurt us, and they didn't want us to have the language to describe what was happening to us. But I tell you, information is your aegis and knowledge is power. You have got to know and be in the know and be able to communicate effectively in order to protect yourself, for one, because you will not be protected. One thing you need to know, your emotionally immature parent will not protect you. They will not protect you. They will always put you in dangerous situations. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because we're looking for that love. We're looking for that nurturance. We're looking for that care and that concern. Adult children want to connect with their parents. Most of us want to connect in a real way with our parents. We just don't feel that it's safe to. And what I'm talking about is emotional safety, because emotional safety and physical safety go hand in hand. If you don't feel emotionally safe to communicate your fears, your desires, your wants with your parent? Are you really connecting with them on a real level? If they try to belittle you and criticize you, calling you overly sensitive because you are a highly sensitive person able to perceive and intuit certain things, that's a gift. Vulnerability is a gift. And for them to try to criticize that, berate you, and put you down at every turn, that's not a loving parent. That's not a loving parent at all. That's somebody that's just cruel, that wants to basically just see you suffer. That's not love. And that's a parent that's also very resentful. For some reason, emotionally immature parents are resentful of their children. They're angry at their children because they can't control them. They always try to offer unsolicited advice. And then when you say, no, please don't respect that boundary, they get angry. And then they violate the boundary again, which causes you to then remove yourself from the equation because you realize that you're not being respected. It's this vicious cycle. All they have to do is respect your boundaries. All they have to do is respect your beliefs, because oftentimes, in some situations where there's differing beliefs, emotionally immature parents will not respect your beliefs and they will continue to speak ill of your faith. And that's when you have to just distance yourself, because no, this is what keeps me strong. This is what keeps me healthy. This is what helps me get out of bed every single morning. This is what helps uplift me. And you want to criticize it? You want to put it down? It's disrespectful. And it's like, when you tell this to your emotionally immature parent, they say things like, well, I'm not going to change. This is who I am. This is who I am. I'm not going to change. They just resist and rebuff any form of constructive feedback that you offer. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to change. And but so many words are telling you that I cannot offer you the emotional support that you need. I don't have the capacities to do that. So you either have to take me as I am or leave. And so we just have to distance ourselves. Adult children have now opted to just distance themselves completely, because it's like, we're not being respected. What do you do when you want to connect with your parent? You want to love and honor them. You want to be a support for them. You want them to be a support for you. But they're just not willing to follow the rules of engagement. They're just not willing to adhere and respect the rules of engagement. That's when you got to shrug your shoulders and say, I can't. When you can respect me, when you can love me and care for me, then we can actually try to build a relationship and try to rebuild the trust. Because to be honest, it's about rebuilding the trust, because a lot of times broken trust is a major reason why most families are estranged. There's no trust. Either there were numerous boundary violations, there was unsolicited advice, there were people trying to tell you how to raise your kids, there were parents that were sitting up there just criticizing your beliefs or your partner, despite you telling them numerous times, please stop doing that. But they continue to do that. So there's no respect. And that right there undermines trust. Where there is no respect, there can be no trust. And so for me, it's very simple. Just respect your kids' boundaries. That's it. Emotionally immature parents, they can't do that. They don't have the capacity. So we talked about the problem, right? What is the solution? What can adult children do to protect themselves? For one, identify the tactics that emotionally immature parents use. Identify the tactics that they use, be it gaslighting, victim blaming, blame shifting, selective inattention, criticizing, emotional blackmail. Identify the tactics that they use because you're going to have to learn how to defend yourself given with every specific tactic. So that's 1. 2, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Many of us were raised on, I would say, survival, but we were not raised on boundaries. When I look at the TV shows in the early 90s, oftentimes these shows, you see people dealing with other people that are snakes. These people have shown them numerous times who they are, but they still continue to deal with them. So we've seen poor boundaries modeled in the media. We've seen it in our own family of origin. So we need to learn how to erect firm and healthy boundaries. You got to. You have got to learn how to erect those firm and healthy boundaries in order to keep yourself safe. That is essential. Okay? That's going to protect you. 3, I would say this: you have to learn how to reparent yourself and give yourself the love and support that you need. Because if you don't feed yourself, water yourself, nurture yourself, you're going to be very resentful. You're going to hurt. You're going to pain. You're going to suffer. So you have to learn how to birth the mother in you. What does that mean exactly? We all, be it male or female, we all have a maternal instinct. For those who have pets, anytime you feed your pet, that's a maternal instinct. For those who have plants, anytime you water your plant, that's a maternal instinct. So we have to give birth to the maternal instinct that is in us. Give birth to the mother that is inside of us. Learn how to nurture ourselves, hold ourselves, protect ourselves, love ourselves. Learn how to stand up for ourselves. Learn how to articulate our needs. Learn how to do that now. Don't let other people get a free pass on disrespecting you. You stand up. You don't sit up there and prioritize being liked over protecting yourself. No, you protect yourself first. That's what you do. Like a mother protects her children, or that is supposed to protect her children, that's what you should do for yourself. Learning how to do that. 4, reach out in terms of build more support networks. Find other adult children who struggle with emotionally immature parents and begin to connect with them and provide support to one another and actually hold space for one another and provide a nurturing environment. The environment that you would have wanted growing up, provide that environment to yourself. Give that to yourself. Because if you're waiting on your emotionally immature parent to provide that to you, you will be waiting for the longest time. You have got to love on yourself. And that's what I want you to take away from this video. You have to nurture yourself. You have to feed yourself. And realize that your emotionally unavailable parent just does not have the capacity to hold you and take accountability. They cannot take accountability for their issues. And we understand adult children who are good to their parents, they understand that their parents are not perfect. They understand that things went awry when they were younger. They understand, and many of us are willing to give our parents a free pass and just focus on the here and now. But even now, these emotionally immature parents are still engaging in the same abusive behaviors that they did when you were younger. They're still continuing to replay the same toxic, unhelpful behaviors. So it's like, yes, I know that when you were a young parent, you didn't know what you were doing. You didn't have all the answers. You were still trying to figure it out. I get that. But even now, when you have the opportunity to offer care, concern, love, nurturance, you're still acting stupid. You're still not providing and not willing to provide support. You're still acting up. Come on. At what point do these parents grow up? I keep on asking this question. When do I get to stop raising my mother? When do I get to stop raising these emotionally immature parents? When? That's a question that we oftentimes ask ourselves as adult children, especially if you are a parentified child. And what exactly is a parentified child? It's a child that had to take on adult responsibilities at a very young age. They had to be the parents because their parents were too busy acting a fool. So when do you actually stop having to be their parent? When do you get a parent? This is why oftentimes adult children of emotionally immature parents either seek out people that they either have to caretake, or they seek out narcissistic individuals, or they seek out people who can pour into them, you know, if they're healed. If they're healed, they seek out people that can pour into them. But oftentimes, initially, what ends up happening is that they attract narcissistic people. They attract people who are broken. They attract people who are needy and dependent. They attract people who are self-centered and who always need care, you know? But I know me as a recovering adult child of an emotionally immature parent, I'm learning that those dynamics are not helpful. I'm learning that always seeking out broken people and seeking out people that need help, no. You continue to perpetuate very vicious cycles, you know, and it just leads to resentment and anger. So I'm off that Ferris wheel. No, thank you. If you're a broke down mess, you stay over there. I cross the street. I'm not dealing with it. Not in my adult life, because I tell you, in your adult life, you're supposed to have peace. You're supposed to have peace. And if you don't have peace, there's a problem. And you are the solution. Nobody else is the solution. You are the solution. So I hope this video was helpful. For all the adult children of emotionally immature parents, you definitely need to learn how to protect yourself and love on yourself, and let this be a sign. Let this be an introduction for you to actually begin to take care of yourself and love on yourself. Begin to do the work of healing. Begin to actually hold yourself and seek out relationships that are reciprocal, for one, and that are loving and nurturing. Relationships that pour into you for a change. And of course, it's going to feel alien to you at first. It's going to feel uncomfortable because you're so used to being typecast in the role of nurturer, supporter. But let people pour into you. Let people love on you. You know, oftentimes your emotionally immature parent may have told you that you were worthless in but so many words. You know? They may have on one hand lifted you up with these counterfeit compliments, but then drags you right back down to hell with their criticisms. So it was just inconsistent. And so your self-worth may be in the toilet, but you can heal that. You can heal that. You deserve love too. You deserve just as much love, if not more, as the love that you give to everybody else. Okay? Remember that. And once again, every morning, remind yourself that you deserve love and you're coming for it. You're coming for the love that you deserve. So I hope this video was helpful, y'all. I love y'all. Peace.